Hey, what's going on, guys? It's been a while since I've done a proper tutorial full-length video. I'm sure anyone that's been on my channel for a while, you've seen me just kind of posting shorts and stuff. I've been super busy and I'm horrible about recording this stuff, but I really do want to take the channel more seriously moving forward and try to get more quality content out there for people. I'd like to see it grow. I'm looking at leaning into this as more of a full-time thing. So yeah, any ideas for video content stuff you guys would like to see moving forward? I'm looking at opening up memberships since it's now an option with my channel. So offering something special with that. It's not something I want to charge a lot for, but maybe doing like live streams where I can answer questions in real time. I thought might be a cool thing for a membership section. So any ideas and stuff you guys have for that, please drop it in the comments down below and let me know what you think or what you'd like to see or what would be helpful for you moving forward with the channel. So with that said, I want to dive into this. I'm not sure what my battery or my storage space is going to be like, so I want to try to get through this kind of quick. I'm throwing a painting together for yeah, see, I had this really well scripted. I'm going to do like a black and white naturescape, and then some of them to come back into after this phase and hand paint in like some red mushrooms and stuff to like really pop out. So with that said though, because it's going to be a landscape thing, I can kind of go over a few interesting bits about painting landscape stuff. So I'm looking at doing like a bit of trees at the top. I'm going to come down, have some waterfalls or something moving through, and then I'll sprinkle in the mushrooms throughout. My style lately is one that incorporates both the spray paint art, and then I come in with acrylics over the top of that to add in details and characters and the like. So with that said, let's get started. I'm using right out the gate, oh, these aren't great, Krylon, just gloss black, fusion, sorry, I got a mosquito here. Yeah, just this stuff. I don't know, I prefer Krylon for area coverage, but my more go-to choice for paints are the Montana Golds. You just have way better pigmenting, but I don't like to use them for covering large areas. I just feel like I use up like too much paint to kind of get a coverage down, and with how hot it is here in Florida, you kind of get a lot of like dusty buildup if you're using too much of the because it's like, it's an acrylic, it's meant for painting murals and such, so it kind of goes on differently than regular like Krylon paints do. So these, I mean, it's cheaper, these are fine for like covering big areas that I'm just gonna like peel off, but I will use Montanas a lot for stuff because I want the color to pop. It just, the color it lays down is so much better, more vibrant. So I'm like, I'll use this little bit in here, see what I got. Just gonna cover the edges of the painting here because I'm doing this on a canvas. I've sanded down. I've got it from Michael's. Just those like budget packs work really well. But something if you're selling art and you put it on canvas, there are people that like the edges painted. It's can be kind of a big deal when selling your works, and I sometimes like to leave the edges like a live edge where you see where the paint stops and whatnot, but not everybody gets around to actually framing canvases up, so having a painted edge that looks like it wraps, the painting wraps all the way around, makes a big difference. Let's see, so yeah, edges painted. There's very little left in these cans. I'm going to do this side, it's going to be the top. It's going to be a bit of a nighttime sort of thing. I'm not going to worry too much about a sky, but I do want to fill this in just because I'm going to dabble in some trees and give it a little bit of look like there's some trees along the top. But the main focus is going to be the waterfall trickling down through the scene. So we're just going to lay in some coverage here. And I noticed with the Krylon, this paint comes out really watered down at times. That's empty. And you may notice when it dries, there's definitely like areas in here where it kind of pops through. So something to keep an eye on, when you're doing your piece. You put down some coverage, let it dry up a little bit, and then see how it looks, and then come back in over it. So I think right about there, and then from this I'll develop the waterfalls. This will be all kind of rocky and some plants, and like I said, I'll embellish some stuff with the acrylics later. Alright, flip it around. Yeah, that'll work. Let's make sure we know this is black. Good idea. Hit some color on the top of your can so you right away know what color the can is without having to check it. Now what I'm using paper plates, but these have like a great already like a coating on it, like you would for like paper you'd paint on or whatever you're going to use to like dab your paints with. Cheap paper plates, it's a great substitute if you don't want to like chew up a bunch of scrap paper or something to you know, if you're making bushes and trees and the like. I just get a bunch of these and use these up accordingly and chuck them. So we're gonna get one of those out. I'm gonna add like some foliage and stuff in the top here, so I can get my napkins. Bounty quicker picker upper, simple fold up, fold over, and then tear that U shape into it like so. I sometimes save these because you can still kind of peel this off, still work with some of this. You know, try to get the most you can out of your materials. Also, when you make these, can't really, hoping this is good right here. You can see when you make these, try to look for anything that's too regular, like I don't know, some irregularities or big standouts will make a very obvious repeating pattern. So the fewer like obvious irregularities you have in there, then the more inconsistent it looks, and yet consistency. I don't know, you don't want like an odd shape standing out and repeating constantly. So over here on the side, now for this I am going to go with the Montana Gold White, just because it's got, again, that more pigment, that more pop to it. Give everything a good shake up. And we're just going to lay it in. I think you can see that on there. I'm recording this on my phone because I don't have an alternative camera for that yet. But I will use that for more of the pop, and then go with the Krylon for the bottom. You can sort of mix these. They work out well together. I'm just going to see, that's kind of the thing. You wouldn't want to see that repeated, but I mean, I know you want to keep an eye out for stuff like that. Just gonna put a lot of this in. This isn't really meant to overly stand out. I'll kind of dust it back a little bit. So you can see the difference. There's like this Krylon's a lot thinner and soaks up a lot faster than the Montana paint does. So you can kind of see in real time. We're just gonna blob all this in here. Yeah, it looks a little wrong right in there. See, stuff happens. Again, I just want that sort of textured up a bit. I'm gonna kind of dust over it, knock it back some, because that's not as important. It's just sort of a detail up at the top there. I'm gonna kind of give the look of like some trees, and I do want to hint at, I'm gonna lighten this up in here. I'm gonna use got a gray color here, Montana, the golds. I'm just gonna lightly dust that in. It's great when it's like a black and white painting. You're gonna work a lot with like values and contrast. So like the more values, like different shades, you know, use between white and black, you'll get a lot more depth and character. But then a nice pop of white in here, you can add a lot of strong contrast to it. Now I'm not going to paint, I'm not going to use the spray paint to add in these trees. I do want to add them in after the fact with acrylic. That's just kind of like where my style's at right now. What I focus on is this mix of spray paint and acrylic. And I am going to come in, I'm going to prep another napkin. I'm not reusing the other one just because it's I know some issues up there, like stuff I don't like, I'm not liking. So prep another one. I'm going to set this aside. You can prep a lot of these, and like in my other video, you just slam a staple into the back of it, and you just have a whole bunch of them like in a jar or something waiting for you. It's not something you have to worry about doing like every single time you paint. You just spend some time, rock out a bunch of them, and have them on hand ready to go. Might be a good idea for me to do sometime, but here we are. Now, I'm gonna come here and add some rocks. I want this waterfall to come in. It's gonna lose itself into this, you know, light in the background there. Now, what I'm gonna use for the rocks though is like normally you see people using like paper, phone book, whatever, magazines. I'm using plastic. Now this is the plastic sheeting that comes. These are like the 5-pack budget canvases from Michaels, and they come wrapped up in this thin plastic. I use this. I still use the paper and everything too, but I get use out of this instead of it just going right to the trash. you know, find a use for things before it ends up in the trash can. That's my motto when it comes to all this. Nothing needs to go to waste. So we're just gonna blast some of that in there, and I'll see what this works kind of the same way. You can see all this crinkle up in here is going to give you textures. And you can leave it as is or hit it again, pull up more paint. Just make sure you're crinkling this plastic when you put it down so it creates the textures hidden in there. It's a great way to, you can do this even with like shopping bags as well. You know, any like really thin plastic you can easily crinkle up. Get some use out of it before it makes its way to the trash bin. I mean, I get tons of junk mail, so that's another, you know, option there. But yeah, see, you just get these amazing ground textures, and it's, you really don't have to do anything at all. You just crinkle it up, press it down, pull it off. I mean, it takes so much of the work out of it for you. So we're gonna have that in the initial start of my waterfalls, and again, this is gonna cascade down and run through this scene. And I'm gonna find some great spots in it for, you know, probably have like that'll be the water path right there. So now everything else is just going to be ground texture. Get this long strand there snaking around. Boom. See how simple that is? I don't want to lose that. I'll come back in on this side. You know, and I try to leave some of this upshot, you know, shadowy areas, because I'm going to come in, I'm going to add some foliage, give it some depth, and just the plants are going to, like bushes and things you add in there, it's going to pop out a lot better against a solid black background than if you had a whole lot of this texture revealed. And plus all these little rocky areas and stuff are going to give me great spaces to paint my mushrooms and things in on later. Mix that in there as well. Let's have like another solid little drop right in here. Let's actually bring this down more. Yeah, see, and I just, again, you can just twist it around, peel it away. Yeah, it's super simple. I mean, this, you can't make this part of the painting any easier. One thing to be careful about is if you go back over areas on here where you've already got paint on it, it can come off onto the painting. So you want to try to work with just the clean spots instead of reusing it too much. Oops. There. Yeah. See? It's not overly textured, but looks great. And we're going to pop up that highlight some more on there. And then I'm going to come in with some clear. So I wanted this to look like the water's trailing off into the background. So I hit it with a little clear, just with my finger. I'm going to come in and make it a little wetter. It's really warm and dry out right now. So yeah, you just blend that like that. And let that get lost into the light. Not too heavy. I'm just gliding over the top of it with the tips of my fingers, barely touching it. There. Now I do want to come back in. I want to add some more foliage and stuff in here. It's going to be great. Where's this? My little bush maker. Hopefully this one works out a little bit better. Yeah, I've been super busy knocking out paintings. I'm part of a restaurant here in Orlando called Cafe Tutu Tangos. Great spot, like nice tapas joint, bohemian vibe, art, entertainment. The whole place is like an inside art gallery. They got a lot of local artists, myself included, that come in there and paint live, as well as we have all our artwork up on the walls for sale. So it's been a really unique spot. That's one I've been going to for better part of 20 years or so. And I just remember back in the day, it was always a thing, like, hey, one day I'm gonna have my art in there. And you know, this was 20 years ago, and I moved out to Vegas. I learned to do the spray paint art. Came back to Florida after COVID, and they had survived COVID and were still open. So 2021. I come back and I managed to get in there and been doing it ever since. And this month I've had a great run as the featured artist for the month. It's been wild. You know, they make a custom cocktail for you. You give them a print that goes with it. So it's like this combo thing. People get the cocktail and they get, you know, the print of your artwork with it, and you get a wall in there where you get to display all your art for sale. And you get like a little bio that pops up on the TV. Yeah, it's, you know, it's a great thing. They do a lot to promote the local artists that are involved in there, and it really makes the restaurant one of the most unique spots in Orlando. But it's I've had a great run with it this month. I've been making like regular trips to drop off more prints and replace artwork that sells. So it's kept me really busy. Let's see, I'm starting to get some repeating. You can always come in here and just kind of tear some of this off. You feel like you're getting not the best textures. Some other spot in here is bothering me. Really warm out today, and it's really doing a number on the paint. But yeah, and then aside from tangos, it's, you know, I've got some local conventions and stuff that I do, and there's one Amazing Art Expo. I work with them. Definitely check them out on their Instagram, Amazing Art Expo, one word. It's it was a gallery based in Denver. They do a bunch of shows all over the country. And it's just like little sort of weekend cons, if you will, but it's just for the artists that are part of their gallery. It's always an awesome time. They've been getting like a lot of anime and mostly anime voice actors involved and stuff now. And just all around fantastic guys to work with. But between that and being a full-time single parent, it keeps me really busy, and unfortunately I'm horrible at keeping up with like filming all the work and stuff that I do, and something I need to get better about. So this is my step in that direction again. So I got a lot of foliage kind of wrapped in here. I want to kind of give the impression that there's like a bit of a overhang right here, so it kind of twists the foliage so it looks like it's dangling down over the edge, dropping down the side of like these little like cliff faces here. Yeah. And kind of drag it a little bit, have some, you know, some stuff hanging or whatever. And lately I've been really enjoying this, playing with this color scheme, the black and white, and doing pops of red in there, whether it's my sort of signature kind of creepy tree, or in this case, like it'll be like red mushrooms, you know, whatever, little bits of things are added in, sort of characters and whatnot. It's just, I don't know, I've had a lot of fun with it. It's kind of, you know, it's a little quicker. Yeah, part of it's kind of a cheat. It's easier to just work with black and white. You know, you play with the contrast and the colors, and you can create something really cool without having to worry about all the crazy color stuff that you would in other paintings. Let's see. I need my little waterfall piece. Got my last little piece here. I have to make some more next time. Now for this one, I would prefer to use the white, but this paint, it's, you know, it's thicker, more pigmented. It doesn't flow as easily when you're using making the waterfalls. Plus, like I said, with it being warm out and stuff, the paint's drying a lot faster. So for this, I will use Krylon just because it's a lot more liquidy and thinned out. Get a nice little pool of it on there. Now let's see if I can do this without messing this up on camera. You know what? Even if it did mess up, you just paint it black again and do it over again. Sometimes you can make it work. I mean, sometimes a mess up is only a mess up in your eye, but it's not something anybody else would really know. So I'm gonna have these waterfalls coming down. We're gonna have like a little bit of a regular sort of pool, watery area as it flows down over to this next waterfall point. But we can make it a little more interesting by adding some small drops in here. You know, it doesn't have to be a totally smooth ride. You know, the obstacle is the way. Something good to know. Everybody having a hard time with it or struggling, just know the other side of that struggle is the growth you're looking for. It's, you need to struggle with these things. I spent a lot of time training with the boss back in Vegas to learn how to do this stuff correctly. And there was a lot of times where I thought, hey, I was good enough as is. I don't need to come in here for more training, or I don't need to go over it. But you get in there, and then it's next thing you know, you're learning to do something better. And something you should do is always take advice, constructive criticism. As, even if you don't like the direction it's pushing you, it's still going to push you in a direction of growth. And then you don't know what's going to come from that. But if you get stuck in your ways and you're just like, I don't need to learn to do anything different. I like the way I do things. You could be missing out on amazing opportunity to grow and be even better. So I'm just coming in here now. I'm just using the very edge of this to get the water looking like it's flowing on off the canvas. Nothing crazy. I think I will come in though and add some white to give like a little mist around the waterfall. So I just need a relatively straight edge. I know lately I've been enjoying using like an airbrush to kind of add in bits of like mist or glows around like a star or something. But the Krylon, this works great if you want to add like a really light mist. You see how kind of really thin it gets. Just something to look at and consider is the tips can get paint built up around them, and when that happens you have a greater risk of these splatters and stuff that pop out. I don't mind if you're here because I like it. It makes that area look more interesting. But some of you might like it for your waterfalls, others might not. And it all depends on what you're looking for. But it's something to consider, keeping your caps clean. I'm gonna hold this close. I'm not gonna hold it directly on the painting. It's gonna be up a little bit just so some of that underspray gets under there, because otherwise you end up with like a really hard line. There we are. Maybe some little bits in here. Whoops. See how much harder that kind of line is there, but that I kind of wanted for that. Again, for this. Yeah, there we are. I missed it up a little bit. It's right in here. Cool. I'm gonna tap that. I do have a fan off to the side over here blowing it away, so I don't have to have a mask on, but it does slightly interfere with the overspray and stuff. So again, something to consider. Now, last thing I'm going to rock out for this before I take it to acrylics. I come in with my palette knife. I do want to etch in some rocks here and there. Throw that aside. And the way, where's my clear? Clear. I'm going to take some clear. This will loosen things up. So you don't got to go crazy with it. Just put a little bit down, see where you're at. Yeah, see, that works. You don't want to pull it up too much. This side as well. That little spot in the middle there left a gap, but the gap only makes sense if there's something obstructing the water flow. Simple. I'm just using the very tip here. Yep, see, it's already drying up. Try to block that fan. I know it's sort of speeding up the dry time on this. But see, if you put too much, you're going to end up with like really heavy clumps of paint, and you might not necessarily want that. Because, I mean, even though it's clear, you're still putting down a layer of, a layer of something on there, and those layers build up. This one I'm going to etch it away. Some little textures and things in there. This one bring back over. It's got something adding deviations into the knife. Need to clean it off. Not been diligent. The last few days I've been grinding away at a Alien Romulus themed oil painting. Just like a close-up of the Xenomorph, but I haven't done like an oil painting in a while. I was just really excited to tackle that. Whoops. haven't felt like touching paints lately. I need to knock this out. I do have to be up at Tango's tonight to paint live. It's the last day of my Artist of the Month thing, although I have to be up there regularly anyway to be part of the program. But it's the last day of the month, so we'll see how that wraps up. But then I will be out in Vegas next month for Amazing Las Vegas Comic Con. I used to live out in Vegas. Hey guys, so as you can see, that video abruptly ended. My phone overheated and just shut down. But you know, with that said, I will not be painting at Tango's tonight. That video was started a couple days ago, and now here I'm in Central Florida. We just had a hurricane, everything come through. I made out all right, except for I lost one screen out here on my back porch area, and I got a lot of stuff to clean up. But that's going to have to wait until after Amazing Las Vegas Comic Con this week, and actually fly out in the morning. It's going to be an exciting, fun time. Definitely, if you're in the Las Vegas area, go check out the show. It's going to be at the Plaza Hotel down by Fremont Street. Not everyone's favorite area, but the people running the show got a good deal on it, so that's why we moved it there instead of the convention center like normal. So that's where I will be at this weekend. Come by, say hi, check out the show. They got the X-Men animated series voice actors, and Rob Liefeld, who's creator of Deadpool. Deadpool Wolverine, kind of big thing right now. Great movie. Check it out if you haven't seen it yet. With that said, though, back to the other video, I was wrapping that up. That was as far as I got with the spray paint art portion of it, and I did go on to add acrylic stuff over the top of it, because it's more like my style these days, which I do have the finished painting here, so I'll show it to you. It's a simple nature scene and like some mushroom spread throughout. Let's get it here for you now so I don't forget. So yeah, acrylic came in with some trees, add some depth, different shades, and then all the little red mushrooms and stuff through here. I've been really on this black, white, and red, you know, the red to really pop things out kind of thing lately. But I don't know, love how it turned out. It's a really simple piece. Something to have fun with. People love mushrooms. I love mushrooms. Anytime I see them, I'm taking pictures of them. My phone's loaded with dozens of mushroom pictures. It's kind of weird. That said, though, wrap that up. And again, I'm looking to put more time into the channel for you guys. I really want to make this more of a full-time thing for myself. And I've had so many great comments over the months and years from everybody out there exploring spray paint art. And I wanted to do better with this. So please drop anything you'd like to see down in the comment section. Like I said, I'm going to explore more with memberships. Think about doing like live streams where I can answer questions in real time, whoever chimes in. Or even offering, I don't want to say courses or coaching, but maybe something like a 1 hour session through like FaceTime or something where I can be like one-on-one with people, and having just like a small reasonable fee for that, if that's something that would interest people. I don't want to be one of those guys out there who's like, oh yeah, like, you know, tune into my coaching course and stuff, right? Like that's not my direction, but I know it helps to have someone like more in person or real time with you help out with these kinds of things. So if that's something you're willing to look into, again, let me know there as well. This is all stuff I'm going to explore down the road as the channel grows. So that said, I appreciate everybody who's been here for the long haul and everybody new coming in, enjoying my content, getting something out of my content. Again, hoping to put more of it out there for you and make this something bigger. You guys have a great one. Enjoy your weekend. Remember, Amazing Las Vegas Comic Con. Hope to see you there. With that said, practice makes improvements. So get out there and start painting.